Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 5:01. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session of the meeting will begin tonight around 7 p.m. All right. Before going to closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on closed session agenda items?
We do not have public comment on closed session items.
And seeing no public comment in the boardroom, the board will now adjourn to closed session. Good evening. My name is David T. Gracia, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Interpretation in Spanish is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Isidra Mencos and Francisco Meza. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Buenas noches. Esta es una reunión de la Junta Escolar del Distrito de Napa Valley. Las instrucciones para acceder a la Junta vía Zoom están en la página web del distrito. Esta Junta va a tener interpretación simultánea en español. Para poder acceder al canal de interpretación en español, en breves momentos ustedes van a ver en la parte de abajo de su pantalla de Zoom un icono del globo terráqueo. Pueden hacer clic allí y escoger el idioma Spanish o español. Si ustedes están en su teléfono móvil, van a poder ver en la parte superior de la pantalla de Zoom 3 puntitos. Al hacer clic allí van a encontrar la opción de interpretación y podrán elegir el idioma español o Spanish. Gracias.
Thank you. All right, can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales?
Yes. Student Board Member Gomez,
Present.
Trustee Gracia,
Present.
Trustee Water,
Yes.
Trustee,
Here.
Trustee Reiser,
Present.
Trustee Shu,
Present.
Trustee Hart,
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Present.
quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our Napa Valley Unified School District Board meeting. Trustee Reiser, do you have a report on closed session items?
Yes, I do. Do I read this first part, the student discipline part? So student discipline, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Ed Code 35146 and 48912.20, Government Code Section 49060, 49078, and the Family Rights and Privacy Act. With student matters, the board took action on D1A expulsions. The board recommends the expulsion for student 01192023A.
Can we get a motion?
So moved. And second.
First by Trustee Gonzalez Mares, second by Trustee Chu. Roll call, Ms. Morales.
Yes. Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Reiser,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Aye.
Thank you.
And with respect to D1B, readmitted expulsions, the board recommends the readmitted expulsion for student 12092021.
Move to approve. Second.
First by Trustee Chu, second by Trustee Hart. Ms. Morales, can I get a roll call vote?
Yes. Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Reiser,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Aye.
Thank you.
And also item D2A, personnel. In closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendation effective January 10th, 2023. Lindsay Apkarian to the position of assistant principal at Vintage High School.
Move to approve.
We have to,
I believe we already approved that.
oh yeah, I
Dr.
think,
Paccetti, is she online and interested in making comment?
I do not see her. No, she's not in attendance tonight.
okay. Well, welcome to Ms. Apkarian. And lastly, on a motion by trustee Gonzalez Mares and a second by trustee Chu, the board voted unanimously to accept the resignation and settlement agreement for employee number 1225. And no public comments on non-agenda items were submitted via email before 8 a.m. this morning. Sorry,
That works.
and on that one.
Okay, now we'll have our flag salute. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, will you lead us in the flag salute?
Absolutely. We can all please stand. Excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, nation, with God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. Item E4, approval of agenda. Dr. Massetti, did you have something to add here?
Yeah, thank you, President Gracia. I would like to request an amendment to tonight's agenda. I'd request that we prepare to pull item K1A, adoption of California School Boards Association, CSBA recommended September 2022 policy updates. I want to propose that we re-agendize this item for the February 9th meeting so that it is reflective of how we agendized the set of policies that were presented here on this agenda back on the December 8th meeting. Our December 8th meeting, when these policies were brought for introduction, we had the introduction of the full September 2022 policy packet. And we intentionally separated the high school graduation requirements. That is 6146. Hold on, I should have had that. 6146.1. High school graduation requirements separately when we introduced the items. And I would just like to re-agendize it so that the way that they were introduced on 12/8 is reflected on the agenda for action in that way. The graduation requirement was included in the September policy packet, and I just would like to present it the way it was introduced. So we plan to do that. Staff and I will prepare to do that on the 2/9 board meeting, the upcoming board meeting. So I ask that that item be pulled.
So moved. Second.
All right, with first by trustee Gonzalez Mares and the second by trustee Chu. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, E5, approval of minutes, December 8th, 2022.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, the second by trustee Gonzalez Mares. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Approval of minutes, E5B, December 15th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
First by trustee Gonzalez Mares, a second by trustee Hart. All those in favor?
Aye.
Agenda passes. E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Massetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
We'll start out with Miss Leslie Walder. Has she been promoted? She's here, the president of NAPS, and she's online tonight. Miss Walder, would you like to address the board this evening?
Yes, good evening. Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Musetti. Good evening, President Gracia, members of the Board of Education, Student Representative Gomez, and Napa Valley Unified School District staff and community. I'm pleased to be here joining you virtually this evening. It allows me to get more things done. I wanted to express my excitement at an upcoming event that will be sponsored through Napa Valley Unified School District. We've got the 4th Annual Wellness Conference coming up March 15th and 16th. It is being organized by the amazing Kristen Nelson, and it's an opportunity for our community members, our employees in the mental health and the wellness areas to come together to participate in learning opportunities, to hear speakers, to be inspired. And after the past couple of years or during this pandemic, there's a heightened appreciation for the importance of wellness in the most holistic of senses. So I'm pleased to be able to collaborate with Kristen in terms of ensuring that we encourage our members, our NAPS members, to participate and attend this important upcoming event. That's it, and I wish everyone a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Walder. And I'm so excited tonight to see the president of CSCA, Mr. Hector Gallegos. Hector, would you like to come to the podium and address the board?
Good evening, everybody. I'm obviously a little nervous, but I just super excited to be here. I guess it's been in the works for some time now. I look forward to working with NVUSD leadership, and hopefully we could get more, I guess, better things accomplished this year. And super excited about working with Dana and her team, and obviously Mike and her team to make things better here at Napa Valley Unified. Representing classified, and like I said, super excited for this new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gallegos, for being here. And I just saw we need to promote her, I think, over to panelists, but I did see Ms. Gail Young, the president at NVAA, is there in our virtual audience. Can we please get her promoted? And Ms. Young, would you like to address the board this evening?
Good evening. It's great to be online. I hope that we're having a wonderful start to a brand new year, and can't wait to see what is up for the rest of this year. Thanks.
That's everyone. Great to see our 3 union presidents here this evening. Thank you.
Okay, moving on then. Recognition of Students of the Month. F1, New Technology High School. Will Principal Dev please present the Students of the Month for New Technology High?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the NVUSD trustees, President Gracia and Dr. Musetti. My name is Abhinav Dev, and I'm the interim principal at New Technology High School. We've had a strong start to 2023 in the spring semester, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to shine a light on some of our amazing new tech students. Tonight, I'm happy to introduce you to 2 of our wonderful seniors who have truly embodied what it means to be a New Tech Penguin. The resilience and hard work shown by both of these students have been remarkable. Our Student of the Month for November is Bella Dunmeyer. Bella is a senior at New Tech High and has a very bright future. Her teachers shared that Bella is an extremely thoughtful, kind, and dedicated student. Bella always gives 100% at everything she does, both in school and in her extracurriculars. One example being she's a great gymnast. Bella is a highly motivated individual determined to fly in the future, literally. She's beginning her internship in aviation, building her knowledge and skills to bring her to new heights. Bella is a truly inquisitive student who balances many interests and does everything with kindness and grace. Congratulations, Bella. Bella is here tonight and is excited to share a few words.
I'm so grateful to be selected as the student of the month. New Tech is truly the school for me, and I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else. The academic aspects as well as the social aspects of my experience at New Tech, I would not trade them for anything in the world. And I feel so supported there, and my interests are so supported. And I'm really proud to represent New Tech, and I'm so grateful for everything I have gained and learned in my 4 years at New Tech. Thank you.
Thank you, Bella, and congratulations to you and your family. On to our student of the month for December. Congratulations to another senior Penguin, Veronica Morris. Veronica is a bright, welcoming, respectful, and kind person to everyone on campus. Her teachers share that Veronica is often quick to understand new concepts and tie them to prior knowledge. Veronica is a quiet leader who can connect with people in many different contexts. She's active in multiple extracurriculars, including the gardening club at New Tech. Veronica is thoughtful and thorough when communicating her ideas, a perfect example being the beautiful and powerful poem she shared in front of the entire school this morning at our all-school meeting. Congratulations to Veronica. Veronica is also here tonight and is excited to share a few words.
Hi, everyone. I want to start by saying how grateful I am to be recognized by both my school and the board. I'm really grateful for all of the staff at New Tech. I think the school, like Bella said, has provided me with many opportunities and experiences that have really helped shape my future as a student and a community member. And one of the things that I really love about New Tech is the sense of community that it fosters. I felt so supported and encouraged throughout my time here, partially because of things like the internship opportunities, the access to free college courses, and also the electives and extracurriculars that are offered by the school. They've all really opened the door to experiences that have allowed me to explore new things and learn where my interests lie. Speaking about the college courses, I've gotten to take stuff like cultural anthropology and child development, which are things I had no idea I had any interest in. I would have had no idea I had any interest in under different circumstances. I also believe that I really thrive from the project-based learning model. And overall, I've just really come to love and appreciate the learning environment at New Tech. And I have immense appreciation for the staff and administration that have contributed to that. So thank you.
Congratulations to Bella and Veronica, and thank you, board. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to F2, Valley Oak High School. Will Principal Cisneros please present the students of the month for Valley Oak?
Good evening, President, Trustee Gracia, Board of Trustees, Dr. Massetti, and staff, and the audience that's here with us today. We are happy 2023, and Dr. Massetti, congratulations on a well-deserved recognition. Superintendent to watch, and we're so fortunate to have you in NVUSD. Today, I'm honored to present to you via Zoom two amazing young individuals that had truly demonstrated grit, leadership within their classes, commitment to their learning, and focused on their future. We are incredibly proud of both of the students, and so I will begin with our November student of the month, Miki Sistena. He is an 11th grade student here on our campus. Miki has made tremendous growth since arriving at Valley Oak. He now asks for support and help when needed, advocates for himself, is more social, and is engaging in all our services that we provide. One of his teachers indicated that Miki is one of the best overall students at Valley Oak. He is an excellent student who's always on top of his studies and willing to help others. His projects have surpassed expectations in the classroom. In the first project, Miki was capable of surveying more than 200 students and gather data in his study.
Miki also has great friends and students seek him out for advice and support. We're truly excited to have Miki represent our Student of the Month for November. So without further ado, Miki, let's go ahead and have you share a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Mikey, and I would like to thank the school board and the superintendent and the Napa Valley Education Foundation. I would also like to thank my school for recognizing me. Coming to Valley Oak has been very great for me. I've learned that asking for what I need has gotten me a lot of help and support from all the great and amazing teachers, and I think that the on-campus resources are really awesome.
Thank you so much, Mikey. We appreciate your words. Moving on to our December Student of the Month is Cesar Santos Padilla. He's a 12th grader here at the campus. He's very proactive about his academic progress and future plans while he's here at Valley Oak. He's motivated about his future and has met with the counselor, Mrs. Lamarca, several times to check on his progress and ask about options after he graduates. He's a bright and respectful young man, and it's a pleasure to work with. His plan is to become a chef, where he will be cooking up delicious main course meals or sweet treats as a pastry chef. I'm sure that whatever option he chooses, his guests will have an incredible culinary experience. So without further ado, Cesar, are you ready to share a little bit about you?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Cesar Santos. I want to start by thanking my parents for everything they have done for me. I want to thank them for providing me with a roof over my head and for the food they give me every day. I also wanted to thank the superintendent, the NVUSD school board, and Napa Valley Education Foundation for this opportunity to be recognized. This organization has enabled me to get extra help after school when I needed it. I started my high school journey at Napa High School. I stayed at Napa High School for about 2 years when I started to struggle with my classes. I couldn't turn my work in on time, and I was falling behind in credits. I started to worry, and I didn't know if I was going to graduate until Miss Martinson talked to me. Miss Martinson asked me if I wanted to stay at Napa High and do credit recovery after school, or if I wanted to move to Valley Oak. I chose to go to Valley Oak. I was nervous at first, but during the first week, I got used to the school. During my time here at Valley Oak, I was able to get my credits back, and now it looks like I will even graduate early. All my classes have been great because the teachers had smaller classes, so they had more time to spend with each student. Valley Oak has given me opportunities that I never thought I would get before. Before I moved to Valley Oak, I didn't think I could go to college, but now I have the opportunity to go. I'm still not sure if I want to go to college or if I want to work. My plans after high school are probably to go work for a couple months and then go to college. If I go to college, I would like to study culinary arts because I am interested in becoming a chef. I am interested in Napa Valley College because of the culinary arts classes that it has available.
All right. We will now move on to public comment. Trustee Riser, did we receive any public comment on non-agenda items via email?
Now it's my big moment. No public comment on non-agenda items were submitted via email before 8 a.m. this morning.
Okay. We do have 3 comment cards. The first is Norma Ortiz.
Hello, Board of Education, Dr. Massetti, and the Napa community. My name is Norma Ortiz, and I'm a student at Redwood Middle School. I want to thank my 8th grade teachers for all the progress I have made, and I wanted to share a letter I wrote to James Madison if he were still alive. So I said, thank you for creating, dear James Madison, thank you for creating a strong union. I desire ideas and the dedication you have to create a strong nation. The purpose of my letter is to demonstrate the positive impacts your Constitution has had on our society. I appreciate that you have made the voting process fair by letting the people have a say and vote, not the states. I can see that you have given citizens the right to participate in the voting process by letting them elect leaders who represent their ideas and interests and who respect their beliefs. This has helped create a better union because you are letting people vote for leaders who could defend and support their country. I value the amendment process because it has shaped a more organized and stable democracy where adding documents is not too easy and more difficult to change. According to History Alive, it states after an amendment is proposed, it must be ratified before it can become part of the Constitution. You have made it so that in order to add to the Constitution, it must be requested of at least 2/3 legislators and 3/4 to approve, which makes the process difficult enough for people not to change so easily. Thank you for making this process, because making this process too easy would make the Constitution less permanent, but making it too difficult would make a violent revolution more likely. This helps our nation today because it gives citizens ways to change the Constitution. Therefore, the government could hear the public opinion and change their democracy based on what the people want. If we did not have this, citizens would complain, and the government's laws and the government will not be organized or stable to receive feedback from the public because they will not have no system of deciding what documents are approved or not. The majority rule has shaped our society because the government has established a principle that bases its decisions on what the people want and holds leaders responsible for their actions. This lets people decide to choose a group they want to support or be a part of. According to History Alive, it states leaders must listen to the voters or they will not be elected or re-elected, meaning the elections serve the vital function of expressing the will of the people. I appreciate this because I feel like it is fairer towards the people because it lets them elect leaders or presidents who could listen to them and guide them, and that could change every 4 years to have other presidents get elected. Thus, the majority rule also helps people take parts of interest groups they feel comfortable in. If we do not have a majority rule, strong government would be difficult to enforce without the people's feedback. However, our government has laws that accommodate the people's needs thanks to the majority rule. I think that's time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and our next speaker is Norma Ortiz.
Well, that was a delight. Hello, NVUSD board members and our Napa Valley community at large. My name is Norma Ortiz. Hello, Ms. Hart, representing our area, which covers Redwood Middle School. Welcome aboard. Thank you for answering my email. According to the Napa Register newspaper of November 10th, 2022, NVUSD sued the California State Board of Education over Maya Kama's charter approval. If this continues to be the case, I feel it might be relevant that we get updates on this item, the money that was previously spent and the estimated cost of ongoing litigation, if that's the case, and next steps. On the other hand, health, ethnic studies are important subjects that focus on the global citizen, experiences and individual perspectives, cultural competencies, and other. Not only that, but research has also proven that they help increase an individual's overall engagement performance at all levels. Other women in history, not just women like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Stanton, but also José Ortiz de Domínguez or Juana Inés de la Cruz, Dolores Huerta, Frida Kahlo, Damalinche, just to mention some, should also be class discussion textbooks. And the other day I was at Napa High. I saw some beautiful art from students through the hallways. I thought that was amazing because my daughter and self, we went to take a look at the school site because she's going to go there next academic school year. So I'm happy for that. With the increase of use of drugs, according to data, especially after COVID-19, Narcan, and there's a generic form of it, naloxone, should be available to treat overdose of opioids at school sites, which is sprayed into nostrils and may save lives. Do we have this available at wellness centers to treat any possible cases of this nature, just looking to the future? If so, in terms of the professional development aspect, have staff been trained to intervene in the above scenario and so forth? A family with a middle school student in our district reached out to me yesterday and put some concerning information as they relate to my attention. Apparently, as they reported, their student and others were given drugs during school time. Their particular student was taken to the ER, received medical attention, had convulsions, and according to them, was close to death. They report having a medical record filed to reflect the above. As a parent, circumstances of this nature is concerning, alarming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz.
Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to have Assistant Superintendent Pat Andrew Jennings follow up with you regarding the situation that you discussed. So I know you have each other's contact information, so I'm going to ask that you follow up. Thanks.
All right, and our next public speaker is Ricardo Guadino.
Happy New Year. First board meeting, eh? Well, let's see how you do. Okay, I have a gift for each one of you. Can I approach the board?
Why don't you hand it to Mr. Pearson and he'll deliver it to us?
Okay, she has one. She's got one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that one. Okay, now. Okay, this is I brought to you the historic commemoration for 2023. All the school districts in California are being invited to participate and welcome the presentation of 8th grade US history with the state approved standards from 2016. And consequently, bringing forward waterways and waterway routes, it opens up the door for a scientific investigation in our history that delivers a tool. With Humboldt, we came up with this tool of the historic commemoration because a resolution wasn't satisfying. It's not a proclamation. These are already facts that have changed the reality of teaching. So that's why I'm here, because see, it's already changed. You don't need to approve anything. You're not being asked to approve anything, but Napa is the key to the Anglo-Saxon American West, across from the Spanish for Latin America with Sonoma. You're at the frontier, and this is a national location. This is not just local history. These people caused the United States to expand from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So I hope at your next meeting, you'll consider to be part of the other districts in California. And you have the information that's been sent to the superintendent.
Thank you.
This is the big step for us.
Thank you, Mr. Whittingham.
Thank you.
Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment online?
We do not have a public comment.
Thank you. All right. Moving on. Item H, reports. 1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. Student Board Representative Gomez, would you like to go first?
Yes, thank you. I would like to begin by just taking a moment to congratulate everybody on what they accomplished during the first semester and commend everyone who played a role in making our school district the incredible district it is. So to everybody from Dr. Musetti to the board, the executive staff, all of the teachers, and most importantly, the students who have dedicated their time and energy into making our district a place where people want to come and ultimately stay. So thank you for all of your hard work, and I hope that we can continue to maintain this throughout the spring semester and into the summer break. I would also like to mention a partner of NVUSD, Care Solace, and the work they do to improve those struggling with their mental health and/or substance abuse. Care Solace has a team available 24/7 who can assist you in any language free of charge. And if you or someone you know wants to access their services, you can call them at 888-515-0595 or book an appointment on their website at caresolace.com/NVUSD. Again, their services are entirely free of charge, so if needed, please reach out to them for help. There's also a few cool events happening at the Napa County Library that I thought I would promote this month. Susan Pari, who has an amazing story and has appeared in publications such as the New York Times, Sunday Magazine, Boston Globe, and more, will be coming to the Napa County Library to talk about her new book that is called In the Time of Our History, which was inspired by her own life growing up with Iranian parents who immigrated to America. She'll be speaking on Tuesday, January 24th at 6 p.m., which is going to be a great event. But if you want to attend, you must go to the Napa County Library website, click on the events tab and register. It's free to attend, and she will be selling her book at the event. Also, for Spanish speakers, the library is beginning a math class which teaches important introductory mathematical concepts. And this event began tonight, but the class will be held every Thursday at 6 p.m. Additionally, they have an ESL class for basic and intermediate level students, which is held every Monday and Wednesday night at 6 p.m. starting on Monday, January 30th. And again, all of that is held at the Napa County Library. And finally, in commemoration of MLK Day this past Monday, I thought I would like to share a quote that applies to the work we do as a school district. And MLK said, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." And I think that this is an incredibly valuable message that we can apply by continuing to strive to find the people and construct a curriculum that fosters not only intellectually curious and academically successful students, but also virtuous and impactful current and future citizens. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Myers.
I don't think I like this seat anymore.
I'm prepared to swap with him as superintendent here.
For school board, when you're ready to make that move. Thank you, really. You're definitely setting the space and grounding us in the work that we do. And there's nothing better than to hear it from our own student and our student board rep. So I will start by just, of course, the cheesy greeting everybody's been getting lately. Happy New Year. I think we are still allowed to say that. A colleague of mine agreed that just through the end of January. Then after that that's too much. So I just hope everybody had a wonderful holiday break. I know it was a intense start to the year, both personally and I know here as an organization, but some good decisions made in this room and also with the other municipalities, like the city of Napa, and preventing some major floods happening downtown. So it just made me think of how when good policy and decisions are being made and funds are allocating to the right places can prevent so much damage. And that was just a reminder of the days when Napa would flood. And now we have this amazing project that helps prevent that from happening. So just most recent work with the school board for me has been the policy committee that will be shared later on the agenda. But in particular today, I'm just channeling my mom. It's her birthday, and I just want to wish her a happy birthday. And more so, I always have an image of her as I enter the NVUSD campus of me on my school bus on my way to Silverado Middle School in the morning. It was like maybe 7:30, and always running into her because she would be riding her bike, rain or shine, to work on that Coombsville Road as the bus aligned. And I would always sit on the right side of the bus because I knew I would always see my mom on her way to work as I was going to school. So, and also special shout out to all the single moms out there, because that's for me, something kind to my heart, of course, but we know we have a lot of single parents in our community, and just thinking about her and thinking about those parents that contribute to a lot of what we do, and they do the best they can for themselves and their families and their kids, and that we're here for them. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Hart?
Okay. So this is my first time doing this, so bear with me as I learn the process here. It's been a little bit quiet as I am just now starting on the board here. We just finished a 3-week school holiday, but I have been able to attend a number of sessions and meetings in preparation for tonight. I was fortunate enough to work with Rob Mangawala, Dr. Massetti, and Trustee Gracia on a special budget learning session, which gave me a good foundation for understanding a very complicated process for a school board budget. I also was able to participate in a governance and board meeting learning session in preparation for tonight, which, as I mentioned, is my first full board meeting. I sat as a representative on the Special Education Community Advisory Committee business meeting, which I will report on more in detail shortly. And also with Trustee Gonzalez Mares on the Board Advisory Policy Committee meeting, in which we reviewed and discussed all the policy revisions that have been suggested. Notably, there was a very excellent presentation by the communications team that reviewed suggestions for district-sponsored social media sites and best practices for creation, monitoring, and maintenance that I'm sure we will also hear more about shortly. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jankowicz?
Thank you, President Gracia. Sam, thank you for your thoughtful and meaningful words. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, happy birthday to your mom. I attended the Association of California School Administrators Legislative Call on the 2023 budget with President Gracia. I attended the Napa Working Families Coalition call. I had a delightful meeting with Jonathan Mintzner, Director of External Relations, and Adriana Lombard, Director of Public Education of JCRC, the Jewish Community Relations Council. JCRC Bay Area is the largest collective voice of the Jewish community across San Francisco, the Peninsula, Marin, Sonoma, Napa, Alameda, and Contra Costa counties. And they mobilize the Bay Area Jewish community and their allies to counter anti-Semitism, advance social justice, strengthen civic engagement, and ensure a combined response to critical issues all face. Jonathan and Adriana were smart, thoughtful, engaged professionals that are advancing work that's impactful and meaningful. I attended the DEI Council Zoom meeting, and then I attended the Governor's Budget Workshop in Sacramento with the Finance Department, the Finance Committee, heads of the labor unions, HR, M&O, and instruction. The session was hosted by School Services of California, and it was a dissection of the governor's proposals for the 23-24 state budget and K-12 education. And lastly, congratulations to Dr. Massetti on being named a 2023 Superintendent to Watch. Well deserved.
It's my turn. I'll start with Happy New Year. I agree. We should continue that. And I guess the last time we met
business meeting was before the 14th, right? So on the 14th of December, I attended the adult school winter graduation and that was really fun. That's always fun to go to any graduation. And I had a curriculum committee meeting with a couple of fellow trustees. On the 20th of December, while on vacation, I attended the Asian Pacific Islander School Board Member Association General Meeting, which was the first time I think our school district has participated in this association. So it was very enlightening just to understand and hear about what's happening around the state with respect to Asians and Pacific Islanders. On the 11th of January, I listened in on the CSBA Governor's Budget Breakdown webinar. On the 12th, I attended the DEI Council meeting as well. On the 17th this week, I was invited by Principal Marilyn Avalon to attend the Donaldson Way ELAC meeting, which is really great because she actually paired that with her cafecito and had about 20 people attending. And part of it was to lead the parents on a tour of what it looked like when her teachers gave instruction and the background with science of reading. So that the public was more informed, the parents were more informed about some of the processes that we went through. So that was really great to see, really great engagement with the community, had great questions. So really nice to see that type of community involvement at the school site. And on the 18th, I had a site visit at Northwood. Thank you to Principal Suzanne Flint in hosting me, Trustee Reiser, NCOE trustees Gerald Perot, and also Parrott. I think I'm Parrott, and also Cindy Biederman. So it was really great to be able to like engage in that very collaborative, understanding and learning about our school. On a personal note, on the 7th, I actually took my younger son to the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco because he wanted to meet author Jean Luen Yang, who was a computer science teacher at Bishop O'Dowd, but now he is an artist cartoonist. He wrote a graphic novel called American Born Chinese. He became a national, I think it was called the National Youth, I'm forgetting about the name, but he rose to prominence because he used graphic novels to promote reading in the United States. And the reason why we went was because his graphic novel American Born Chinese is going to become a TV series on Disney Plus, which is really wonderful that we will see more representation in our media. So really looking forward to how that all plays out from a graphic novel. And this week, my 5th grader went to outdoor ed. Yes, in January. Yes, they did not get rained on, although it did rain last night. But all the kids were super excited because it was the first time that they actually, after pandemic, that any student was really able to go on such a trip. So really grateful that that's happening again. Came back today in one piece, not too wet. I wanted to also highlight that this Friday, tomorrow, the American Canyon Arts Foundation is sponsoring a presentation by artist Taipan Lucero, who is a calligraph Filipino artist and National Commission on, and was awarded by the National Commission on Culture and Arts and award. And he will be giving a talk on Filipino Babayan indigenous pre-colonial written language. And he's a calligraphy artist. And this will be happening at ACHS in the A building at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in learning a little bit about Filipino art, I think this is a great opportunity. And I will also close out by saying Happy Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year if you celebrate that. The first will be this Sunday. So that concludes my, it will be the year of the rabbit. That would be my youngest. Yep.
Okay, thank you, trustee Riser.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's see, going back to December, before our non-business meeting that we had last meeting of 2022, there was a curriculum and student support committee meeting that I attended, and also, and I was reminded of this by seeing it on your report, but I didn't hear you say it. So I know trustee Chu was also there, and trustee Jankowicz, the adult school winter graduation on December 14th. And that is just a really special event to attend, and it's very humbling and grounding in our purpose as a district. So that was a really special ceremony. On December 11th, I tuned in to the CSBA governor's budget breakdown workshop just to try to get a handle on the ever-shifting landscape of state school funding. December 12th was another board advisory policy committee meeting, as has been discussed. And on the 18th, I also joined trustee Chu and trustees Biederman and Parrott from NCOE at a site visit at Northwood. And we've been there before, and it's always wonderful to go kind of where the rubber hits the road and see the teachers in action and the students in action. And one thing that really struck me that was new, and Principal Flint highlighted it, and because it had just happened that morning, that the maintenance and operations staff had installed 2 different swings on the swing set for our differently abled students to access, and had cut the curb so that they'd be able to access with their wheelchair, because there's a significant population, multiple students at that site that use wheelchairs. And it just really was moving to me to see that it's more than those few kids being able to have that access during recess and have something to do. I just thought about what it stands for. And we talk often about representation here, and the importance of representation. And I just thought, for all people, all students, parents, any visitor to see that on the playground is just a powerful message. So I was proud of the district for being able to do that, and wanted to highlight that. And then the other thing, which was the day before that, on the 15th, I attended the community's Martin Luther King event. The title was Renewing the Dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a community-wide commemoration. It was presented by the Martin Luther King Celebration of Action and Compassion Coalition, as well as the Napa Valley Interfaith Council, and it was hosted at the Congregation Beth Shalom. It was a very uplifting and moving event, featuring some really, beautiful words shared by representatives of many faiths. There was Pastor Jay Lang from the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. Of course, the host rabbi of the congregation. There was a blessing by our local imam at the end, Muslim Islamic imam at the end of the ceremony. Featured speakers included someone that we've worked here closely with in the district, Lilia Hine from Napa First Five. She collaborated with us on our rainbow kits. So it was really a great event. The highlight for me was being serenaded by the Napa Valley, the Napa High Chamber Choir. They brought 3 songs to share with the community. And I believe none of them were in English. So that was just a beautiful offering. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Water.
Okay, thank you, trustee Gomez, for your comments, and everyone else. Lots of community engagement this month. On December 14th, I too went to the winter graduation of the adult school. And someday that I forgot the date, but I went to the art show at the library featuring high school students' art, including your daughters. Put that in my right, yes, but I remembered. And you should tell your daughter that I remembered and you forgot. And And then right after that, I scampered over to the Napa High School concert in which your daughter performed. That's right. And then the next night I went to Vintage High's winter concert and American Canyon. I would have gone to your concert, except it was sold out. And let's see, I went to, we had a meeting with Napa County Landmarks about, our building. And I attended a webinar on the 9th about the budget. It was hosted by the CSBA, California School Boards Association. Let's see, yesterday I went into Sacramento with a few of us went in to listen to the budget meeting, which was enlightening and confusing. And today I was sitting in the conference room reading Dale Allender's textbook and taking a look at it and for 4 hours, except the superintendent shanghaied me and took me over to a work meeting of the bus drivers. And that was fun. And I too met with Jonathan and Adriana of the let's see, what is it? It's the JCRC. It's the Jewish Community Relations Council. Yep. And they are, and I met them at an event at the temple, Hanukkah candle lighting. And both of them are very, very smart and very funny and definitely in the right jobs. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, on the December 19th, I attended a meeting at Congregation Beth Shalom concerning the recent rise in anti-Semitism with Trustee Water. And then on the 20th, I attended the city council meeting in support of the Napa City Council members beginning their new terms. On January 10th, I attended the AXA lunchtime call regarding the governor's budget reveal. Also on the 10th, I attended a meeting with Cecilia Aguilar Curry to update her on the publicly available information regarding MCMS lawsuit. On the 11th of January, I attended a budget learning session with Trustee Hart. On the 17th, I also attended a governance meeting prep session with Trustee Hart. And then on the 18th, a budget session that several trustees and our superintendent, along with other staff, attended up in Sacramento. And that concludes and that moves us now on to board representative reports, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
Okay, so the Special Education Community Advisory Committee held their business meeting on January 9th. The committee, one of the committee co-chairs announced that January is to be recognized as Adaptive Device Awareness Month. They've put together a special flyer for distribution to help people gain an understanding of the various tools used by people with disabilities in order to manage in day-to-day life. Our local area SELPA director reported a milestone of 250 school employees in our area that have received specialized training to better understand all aspects of special education. A theme of We All Belong Here has been announced for the annual Inclusion Awards. The awards recognize extraordinary examples of inclusion by a teacher or staff member and have a student category as well, which features various artistic expressions of inclusion through art, poems, song, and sculpture. At the end of the meeting, Tobias Ware from the State Council on Developmental Disabilities presented to the committee a number of opportunities for involvement in local, regional, and state level advisory councils. Specifically, he highlighted the need for representation of people with intellectual and or developmental disabilities and their family members, as these are in short supply. Folks that are interested in serving on these councils. If any members of our local community are interested in participating on any of these advisory committees, please reach out to me and I can put you into contact with Mr. Ware. And that is my report.
Thank you. Item H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representative.
We have not met.
H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
H2D, Town of Yountville Liaison Representatives. Now we'll move on to H3, which is superintendent and executive staff.
Great. Good evening, NVUSD trustees, staff, and community. Happy New Year. And I'm grateful to be here at the first meeting, board meeting of 2023. I wanted to start out tonight by thanking our maintenance and operations staff, our custodians, our site principals, assistant principals, Director Albert D'Souza, Director Gloria Aguiar, and Assistant Superintendent Mike Pearson for all of their hard work in keeping our students warm, safe, and dry during a very wet time. And our schools operating despite the severe weather conditions we experienced upon return to the school after the winter break. I'm so grateful that despite the operational and facilities challenges caused by the storms, our NVUSD schools remained open without interruptions. So thank you. This time of year, I always start formal visits with principals after conducting dozens of informal visits during the fall semester. During these scheduled site visits, I conduct a mid-year check-in with our principals about what is going well and what are the opportunities for growth at their respective sites. We walk classrooms, discuss instruction, check in on their school operations, and I learn about what they're focusing on with each of their key stakeholder groups, students, staff, and parents. Last Friday, I visited both NVLA with Principal Martinez and Snow Elementary with Principal Jessica Mountner. I walked lots of classrooms, connected with the intervention specialists at each site, hung out during recess, observed lunch alongside kids in the lunch lines, and also spent some time with cafeteria staff in our finishing kitchens, and got lots of hugs from students in the primary grades, especially those kindergartners. It was really fun to see both of these first-year principals embracing the demands and gifts of serving as the principal of a school. I appreciated my check-ins with the NVLA head custodian Enrique Avina Ramirez and NVLA office manager Maria Delgado, and the SNOW head custodian Maria Barradas Acosta and SNOW office manager Laura Calderon Sendejas. Our classified support staff at our schools impress me every day with the execution of their work that they do with such pride and care. As Trustee Water alluded to, today I went to the transportation yard. So I'm getting out to schools and also trying at the start of the year to get out to visit our departments. And the transportation being a department being down the road, it doesn't happen as frequently as departments that are here in the building. So today I chose to go to the yard to visit with our transportation team and touch base with some of our bus drivers as they got back from their morning routes. And I was surprised when I arrived. I was greeted with a great smile and amazing customer service by Miss Fabiola Figueroa. So I want to appreciate her for that. Of course, on the day that I decided to conduct this spontaneous visit to the transportation yard, I got there and no one was there. But I saw some great things going on. Fabiola let me know that the department was training. And so our manager, I got to see our manager, Fernando Rivera, who was training 2 new bus driver hires. And bus driver hires are to be treated with a lot of warm welcome because we are in desperate need of bus drivers. So it was great to welcome them as they're onboarded and trained here in NVUSD to do the important job of transporting our students. And then they informed me that our current bus drivers were actually down here back at the tech center behind the ed center here with Corey Claxton, who was conducting training there. And so I had the opportunity to, since they were all in training simultaneously together, and Trustee Water was indeed in my conference room for 4 hours today, reviewing and reading curriculum as a trustee, but also former English teacher, clearly. And she joined me and we went over and we greeted the bus drivers as they were wrapping up training in best practices and safety and operations of our transportation services. We both expressed our gratitude for the important work that they do for our students who are bused in the district. And I want to recognize Director Justin Binion, who I didn't get to see in this visit, but who's clearly doing an excellent job in leading the department despite ongoing staffing challenges caused by the bus driver shortage. Simultaneously, because the bus drivers in the transportation department were at the tech center, I also appreciated just a natural spontaneous visit to the technology department and the team there. So thanks to everybody at the tech department who I was able to touch base with, and Trustee Water also got to say hi to some folks in the tech department, even though that wasn't planned for. Tomorrow, I will continue school visits. I will be at Stonebridge, the charter school, as my first visit tomorrow morning, and then I'll be going over to Silverado Middle School to visit with Principal Jen Cole. Grateful for the attendance of trustees at the governor's budget workshop held by School Services in Sacramento. I think it's great that we have engaged board members who just continue to deepen their knowledge around the governor's budget, the challenges, as Trustee Water alluded to, and complexities around California school funding, which is a roller coaster of a ride every year. I don't know any other sector that sort of has to deal with the constraints that we do. And the budget development challenges that come with leading districts. So thank you for attending, Trustee Jankwitz, Trustee Water, and President Gracia was there. So thanks. And then I want to thank everyone for the congratulatory messages regarding the National School Public Relations Association recognition. I actually received it a few weeks ago. However, our communication department pumped it out during social media. And I guarantee you that our social media channels are working, because I heard from my brother in Los Angeles, who was like, darn sis, good job. I heard from colleagues from across the Bay Area. And so I didn't know the communication department was going to be pumping it out via social media challenges. So it was great. I received messages from several parents across the district, staff. Thank you, Principal Cisneros, for your kind words. But the award is really not about me. It's truly a recognition of this entire organization's work that has been accomplished over the last 5 years, as we have focused on continuously improving our approach to community engagement and two-way communication with all of our stakeholders. And I'd like to note our multilingual stakeholders here in NVUSD. And I'm just convinced that maybe we got the award because they've heard Sam speak. So I'm a superintendent to watch because of you. And then lastly, I have some really exciting news. Came to learn from Napa High Principal Dr. Ainsworth that our Napa High School bass choir will be singing the national anthem on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Any NBA fans in the room? Warriors or the Sacramento Kings?
Go Kings.
Go Kings. There's some Kings in the room. Okay, well, they are going to be singing. So we've got a mix of fan base here, but Sacramento. I know President Gracia is a huge fan of the Sacramento Kings, and they're going to be singing the national anthem over at the arena in Sacramento for the Sacramento Kings versus Memphis Grizzlies. Again, Monday the 23rd at 7:30 p.m., which is pretty cool. All right, so congratulations to them. With that, I'm going to pass over to the assistant superintendents who will provide reports regarding their supervision of the work in their divisions. So we'll start out with Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Massetti and community. I'm happy tonight to report on some events related to Goal 2, celebrating staff contributions throughout the district. Last week, I, along with Director Elizabeth Gonzalez and Assistant Director Gina DeLuca, we visited each of our 27 NVUSD Teacher of the Year nominees at their school sites to present their awards in front of students and colleagues. This coming Tuesday, January 24th, we are excited to again honor all of the nominees at our employee celebration here in the Evans Auditorium from 5:30 to 7. In addition to recognizing these outstanding teachers, we will also be highlighting our 9 classified employees of the year, the Student Support Service Provider of the Year, the Manager of the Year, and we will announce the 5 finalist Teachers of the Year who will be moving on to the county level for recognition and possible selection as the Napa County Teacher of the Year. So we're really excited this year to host our celebration in person, and we're expecting a great turnout of family, friends, and coworkers. For anyone who cannot attend in person, we are live streaming the event on the NVUSD YouTube channel. And again, that's Tuesday, January 24th, 5:30 to 7 here in the Evans Auditorium. I also want to mention that we are offering an early tell incentive to teachers, counselors, and nurses who are planning to resign or retire at the end of the school year. This incentive is to have them tell us early so that we know what vacancies we'll have and we can start our staffing process as quickly as possible. So the incentive is $1,000 for the first 20 who tell us before March 1st. Thank you. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Next will be Mr. Pearson, Assistant Superintendent Pearson, who oversees operational services.
Good evening, President Gracia. Congratulations on being the president. NVUSD Board of Education trustees, Dr. Massetti, Student Board Representative Sam Gomez, and the NVUSD community. Thank you for the opportunity to provide you with this update on operational services. In food service, NVUSD students continue to enjoy breakfast and lunch menu items offered by our amazing food service program in record numbers. During the month of December, which we only had 12 school days, NVUSD students consumed 65,914 breakfast items, which represents a 35% increase when compared to the following month in December of 2021. And students ate 99,324 lunches, which is a 25% increase, again, when compared to December of 2021. The entire food service staff continued to meet these increased demands while dealing with tremendous labor shortages. Today, a taste testing event was held at Shearer Elementary School. Students were offered learning bites of either a navel orange, a caracara orange, or a blood orange to try. I don't have the results yet, but I'll make sure you get those results so you know which fruit won. And lastly, the harvest of the month is a navel orange and a sweet potato. In maintenance, grounds, and operations, Albert D'Souza, Director of Maintenance and Grounds, helped with surprising Mr. Ray Rios, who was selected as one of the NVUSD Employees of the Year. Mr. Rios has worked for many years in the school district, and currently he is a district painter. Throughout his career with NVUSD, Mr. Rios has provided exemplary service, leadership, and taken immense pride in the quality of work he has demonstrated throughout his career. And we want to congratulate Mr. Rios on his award. Director of Operations, Gloria Aguirre, and myself have held a series of meetings to brainstorm and plan how to provide training videos for our new and seasoned custodial staff to review and use as Ms. Aguirre continues to strive for excellence and consistency amongst our school sites. The first video will be filmed and shared will be on bathroom cleanliness to develop standards. I want to commend Ms. Aguirre for producing these videos and being willing to play the lead role in these videos as well too. In transportation, Director Justin Binion continues to shine in his second year as the leader of the transportation department. Like food service, transportation is experiencing significant driver shortages, but somehow Mr. Binion and his team of drivers are able to make sure students are transported safely to and from school, which includes Mr. Binion having to drive a school bus. In fact, for example, this past, I believe it was Wednesday, we were short 10 drivers, and somehow we made it work. He made it work, I should say. I had very little to do with that, other than say, get it done or else. Additionally, Mr. Binion and I have participated in several meetings this month on transitioning more of our bus fleet to renewable energy sources. As many of the trustees know, when we went to CSBA in December, there was a fair amount of workshops on that. And we made some incredible contacts with some individuals who are very passionate about helping school districts make this transition. So although it's going to be slow and complex, we're very encouraged and excited for the future of our bus fleet. And then finally, in facilities, there's no facility update tonight. Rather, I'm speaking later to honor and acknowledge one of our community volunteers who helped out with Measure A1 and Measure A2. And that concludes my report.
Next, we have Assistant Superintendent, Pat Andrew Jennings, who oversees the Instructional Services Division.
Thank you, Dr. Massetti. Good evening, President Gracia, Board Trustees, Dr. Massetti, and Student Representative Gomez and the NVUSD community. Before I begin, I wanted to thank Student Representative Gomez for elevating the tremendous resources that are a part of our public library, as well as Care Solace. Those are both very tremendous resources that I'm glad that you elevated tonight in your presentation. As we begin 2023, the Instructional Support Services Division continues to focus on meeting the board's annual priorities, our LCAP goals, as well as the strategic plan goals. I have begun meeting with our educational partners to gather input on our LCAP goals and progress and to share ideas for improvement. Over the course of the next few months, I will meet with a host of educational partners from our bargaining units, parent advisory groups, and different instructional staff groups. I look forward to sharing the feedback we receive with the board in the coming months. In service to board annual priority number 2, we are excited with the launch of the district-wide writing assessment for our 3rd through 5th grade students this week and next week. The district writing assessment enables teachers to see how their students are progressing towards mastery of grade level writing standards. Also, having the administration in January provides teachers with a baseline as well as clear instructional next steps for what students need in order to be successful on the CAST. 3rd and 4th grade students will focus on opinion writing with an emphasis on citing sources to support their opinions, and 5th graders will focus on informative writing with an emphasis on using information from reliable sources. Our K-2 teachers will administer the district-wide writing assessment in April.
We are looking forward to having district-wide data in writing to inform instructional decision-making and goal setting at the classroom, school site, and district level. We continue to support the professional development of all of our instructional staff. 9 of our library media techs recently received the Instructional Media Resource Association certification from the San Diego Office of Education. The 8-week online course provided a learning context that challenged the participants to enhance their library media service practices and support student achievement. In addition, participants examined school library and state standards, digital citizenship, information literacy, and technology tools. I want to congratulate Kathy Burrows from Puebla Vista, Jamie Hooker from Shear and McPherson, Christy Lemmer from Silverado, Fanula Liberty from American Canyon Middle School, Lorna Kurish from Alta Heights and Vichy, Michael O'Toole from Redwood Middle School, Amy Plews from Unidos, Eugenia Salinas from NVLA, Claire Simpson from Napa High, and Melissa Zoller from Vintage High School. We appreciate their dedication to enhancing their knowledge in service to the students of Napa Valley Unified. Lastly, in support of board annual priority number 4, which is focused on ensuring access to mental health and wellness services, we have increased the number of staff trained in QPR suicide prevention. QPR stands for question, persuade, and refer. This year we have trained over 262 Napa Valley Unified staff with Vintage High School and ACHS staff scheduled in the next 2 weeks. This is by far the most comprehensive suicide prevention training we have ever delivered to this number of staff in NVUSD. I want to give a deep appreciation to Naya McWilliams and Jenny Olson from our community partner Mentis, who helped make this possible. We prioritize secondary schools, but we'll coordinate with Mentis in the coming weeks to train as many elementary school staff members as possible during the spring semester. We are committed to ensuring that our staff is prepared in the event of a student in crisis. And thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Andrew Jennings. And next we have Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees business services.
Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. Tonight's update will focus on the governor's budget proposal for 2023-24. I was fortunate to attend the governor's budget workshop training provided by school services with a team from Napa, including the superintendent, board members, executive cabinet, and union leadership. This past practice of going to the training as a team allows us to plan for the upcoming year's budget and develop a shared understanding. It's a fabulous process that I hope will continue going forward. January begins the budget process where the governor makes an initial proposal. The legislator and the governor then negotiate and revise the proposal in May. This is followed by final adoption of the budget at the end of June. The budget is always based on revenues for 3 years, the prior year, the current year, and the coming year. As you can imagine, the accuracy of the projection varies a great deal. Due to changes in economic conditions that we're currently going through, last year's budget over-projected revenues. So this did lead to a decrease in this year's current budget. In particular, approximately 1/3 of the one-time funds for the arts and operational expenses will be clawed back. Overall, though, given the economic uncertainty due to inflation and reduced revenue outlook, the budget for education is better than anticipated and includes an 8% cost of living adjustment of funding under the local control funding formula. So again, this is very positive news for us, that given the economic outlook we're having, that the governor did put focus and revenues behind the education budget. This concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on a roll call vote unless discussion of items is requested by a board member. I would like to pull item I4A. And it looks like no one else is looking to pull an item, so I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
First by myself, second by Trustee Gonzalez Maris. We just do Ms. Morales, can you please do a roll call vote?
Yes. Student Board Member Gomez,
Aye.
Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Ricer,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, item I-4A. Request to extend consulting services contract with Recolt Energy. I wanted to have a report in the future on what we're doing with regard to the solar panels, particularly the ones that we're leasing, and especially those that are located at the harvest site, and what we're doing to potentially remove those panels. And I thought that last time we approved this contract, we were going to get some clarity on this issue, and I haven't heard anything about them since. So in the future, I'd like to have a presentation on what is happening with solar in our district. Having said that, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
First by myself, second by Trustee Chu. Ms. Morales, can you please do another roll call vote?
Yes. Student Board Member Gomez,
Aye.
Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Ricer,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Aye.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to presentation and discussion items. Item J1, General Services, J1A, recognition and presentation of service award for supporting the Measure A1 and A2 campaigns. Trustee Jankowicz, I believe you're first.
Mr. Payne. Would you like to stand up at the podium, please? It is important to note that this service award is in recognition of the leadership and support demonstrated by a community member. This is a volunteer position, one that was held by an individual who wanted to serve his community, support education, and believed in the importance of the bond measures. Greg Payne, campaign treasurer for Measure A1 and A2, dedicated his expertise to managing the finances of the bond campaign, dedicated his time to this community, and lent his support to NVUSD. We, the Board of Trustees, want to extend our deep appreciation and gratitude for your service. We appreciate your efforts, Greg. Thank you very much. Oh, you have to stay there.
And
I think Assistant Superintendent Pearson would like to say a few words.
Well. So yes, we are here to recognize and acknowledge Mr. Greg Payne, who most recently served as the treasurer for Measure A1 and Measure A2 campaign. For those of you who don't know, I've actually personally known Mr. Payne for many years. In fact, starting to date myself, but I was his soccer coach back when he was a sophomore at Vintage High School. I believe it was in the mid 1990s. And then later, Greg was a parent, a Vintage parent when I was the principal at Vintage. He's a product of the NVUSD schools as is his kids. And he's always been willing to help out in the school or the district and wherever he's been. When we were looking for a treasurer, thinking about a treasurer, I actually was speaking to the athletic director at Vintage, Cam Neal, to pick his brain since he's someone local and he could help me find somebody. And he said, "What about Greg?" And I went, "Oh, I forgot about Greg. Yes, he works here in the Valley. He works with an accounting firm. This would be great." Did you know Cam? Yeah, you know Cam did that. Okay. And so I call Greg up and get him on the phone and we start to talk, and I'm doing a terrible job of convincing him of this position, right? And he's like, "I'll do it. It's okay. You don't have to talk me into it. I'll do it." So, you know, it didn't, our conversation, I said here, was 5 to 8 minutes. I bet it was probably like 4 minutes at the most. But Greg, throughout the campaign, you attended the weekly meetings, you provided updates on expenditures, you paid the invoices, you completed all the necessary paperwork. You worked with the other individuals to get that paperwork completed, which I know wasn't always an easy thing. And quite frankly, you were a tremendous asset and a constant for us during that entire bond campaign, which we really, really appreciate. So Greg, we were very fortunate to have such a solid, trustworthy, committed, hardworking volunteer. And on behalf of the Measure A1 and A2 campaigns, we thank you and honor you for your time. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
We want to take a picture?
We're gonna take a picture. And just before we do that, Mr. Payne, and would you like to address the board? As superintendent, it was an absolute pleasure to work with you. You're my first treasurer of a bond campaign measure here as superintendent of NVUSD, and you did an extraordinary job. The consultants that we work with that give us guidance, we're just so impressed. So, Mr. Pearson and all of the references that helped him come to the choice of approaching you. It was the right choice and it was the best choice. And you did extraordinary work on behalf of the students and community here. So thank you so much. So we'll give you an opportunity to address the board and then we'll take some pictures and give you your pretty award.
I didn't know I'd have to say anything. No, I was really happy that I could help. As Mike said, I grew up here, born and raised in Napa. I went through the school district myself, one school that isn't even here anymore. Well, it is, the building is there at, I went to El Centro, now Willow, which is still the neighborhood that I live, which is where the neighborhood I also grew up. I've had two kids, one who is graduated from Vintage and then a daughter who's a junior at Vintage now. So it's really important to me. I grew up here and I work in the community and it's just a really important community to me. So I was really glad I could be a part of it and help out.
Let's do a picture. Dana, will you take a picture?
Thank you. All right. J1B, Introduction to California School Board Association recommended policy updates for December 2022.
Yeah, this item is being brought to the board tonight just for introduction. This is the December policy set from CSBA. And it was reviewed with the, as been mentioned, I think by a couple of the board members who attended, the new members of the policy committee. It was reviewed by the policy committee, being brought for introduction tonight and will be brought forth for action on the February 9th board meeting.
Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to item J1C, introduction of board bylaws 9220, 9223, and 9323.
Thank you, President Gracia. These are also being brought for introduction. I just want to illuminate that these were actually originally part of the December packet, but they were bylaws that required quite a bit of extensive discussion and options that needed to be chosen. And I wanted to provide the trustees on the policy committee an opportunity to weigh in on those options. And so they provided their recommendations at the policy committee. You see their recommended options, selected options. Again, these will be brought forth for action. So again, part of the December packet, but extracted and given focused attention, given that they're bylaws. And we wanted board members to weigh in on the recommendations for the options that we were to select from.
So just to be clear, then these will appear as a separate item in February.
Yes, we will mirror, again, that's kind of the correction from the last time when we extract policies that we want to elevate that come as part of the packet in the agenda where they're introduced. we want to agendize them similarly in the subsequent meeting when they're brought forth to action. So we will bring them forth as separate bylaws as they are presented here for introduction.
Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to J1D, Introduction of Administrative Regulation AR 1114, District Sponsored Social Media. Dr.
Great.
Massetti?
President Gracia, I think we're skipping item D, J1D. We did C, board bylaws, and then the introduction.
Right, we're on the introduction.
That was just part of all of it. Okay.
No, he's right, I think.
We
'cause we
did the
talked-
bylaws and now we're on the administrative regulation.
On D.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That is D.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, President Gracia. So this AR was brought forth by our new Director of Communications, Julie Bordes. She presented to the policy committee, and I'm going to provide her the opportunity. She's actually here this evening as a panelist online. She'll be explaining the rationale as to why we're bringing this policy forth for introduction related to our district-sponsored social media channels that will again be brought for action on the 9th. Ms. Bordes, are you online?
I am. Good evening, Dr. Massetti. And good evening to Board President Gracia, members of the Board of Trustees, Student Representative Gomez, and our entire NVUSD community. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share a short overview of the proposed changes to AR 114, district-sponsored social media. Earlier this year, the communications team reviewed existing board policies and administrative regulations specifically related to communications. We wanted to ensure that they reflected current best practices. We were most interested in policies related to social media, because as all of you are aware, social media continues to evolve and change as a communications tool. After reviewing the existing NVUSD policies and comparing them to policies from other California districts, we saw the opportunity to more clearly outline how official social media accounts are managed at both the district and school site levels. The suggested revisions to AR 114, district-sponsored social media, are outlined in the red line document attached in your agenda. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. Right. Moving on to J2A, Introduction of Supplementary Instruction Materials Adoption for Middle Schools. Dr. Massetti?
Yeah, I'm going to invite Director Monica Reddy. He'll be coming to the podium regarding this item.
Good evening, Student Board Member Gomez, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Massetti. These two items are supplementary materials in alignment with our annual board priority number 2, focused on reading and writing to learn across contents. So they serve two purposes. One, A Seed in the Sun is a historical fiction that addresses both past and present issues that really speak to our young adults and connect to the lives of our youth, as it's grounded in California. It's grounded in California history and looks at our farm working from the lens of a young farm working girl and her dreams. And so this will be a recommendation for 6th grade. And we have the opportunity to have the author as a part of our virtual author series. So in anticipation of this event, we would like to have the books available such that if teachers would like to then use it within their classrooms as a supplemental material, it's easier for them to access them. So that's the first one. The Omnivore's Dilemma is next to core curriculum, so study sync for middle school. And so in order to provide depth and breadth to their reading, which is recommended by the National Council of English, we would like to have this book available to our youth in 6th grade as an extension of a short reading, which you will see at the literacy session next week, a short reading that connects to not only their English standards, but also their science standards and some of their health standards. And so these two items are being recommended as supplemental materials.
Thank you. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. We'll move on to item J2B, introduction of core instructional materials adoption for high schools.
Me again. So the introduction of core materials for acting and musical theater. So currently, you'll see later on the agenda under action items, this textbook aligns with the course called Musical Theater for American Canyon High School. We do currently offer this course at all 3 high schools, but the musical theater course is new. And the musical theater needs a curriculum that aligns to it and allows them to learn the various aspects of creating a production. And so this particular material aligns to that course that's on the agenda later and is being recommended as a core textbook for our students at American Canyon High School.
And Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Just noticed that. Yeah. Assistant Superintendent Andrew Jennings and or Director Reddy, item J2C. Is this an introduction item? Or should this have been an action item? This is the one between NVUSD and Sergio Valenzuela.
It appears it's only on the written one. Online that doesn't appear to exist.
I can speak to this. So this was originally under an introduction item and it was misplaced. And so that was corrected. After-
Maybe it's corrected online.
Online it is, but it appears to be in our written agenda
Oh,
still.
okay, so that must be the issue. So we're okay on.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be it's supposed to be action. Thank you.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's now approaching 9 o'clock, so we will take our first break of the evening. See you in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. Break has ended. We are on to action items. K1. K2, actually, we just skip right to that one because we've pulled the other item. K2 Business Services. K2A, request to purchase Google Workspace for Education Plus.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right. Student Board Representative Gomez.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 2B, request to purchase Chromebooks and Chromebook carts for the after-school program.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Student Board Member Gomez.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. Item K3, Human Resources. K3A, revised 2022-2023 classified calendar.
Move to approve. I'll second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Chu. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Student Board Member Gomez.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item K3B, NAS Recruitment and Innovation Career Site Content Amendment to SOW 00725. Activate Agreement, Board Approved 2/10/2022.
Move to approve. Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Riser. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. Student Board Member Gomez,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item K3C, Point Loma Fieldwork Placement Agreement.
Move to approve. Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Chu. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. Student Board Member Gomez,
Aye.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item K4A, new high school course of study for visual and performing arts.
Move to approve, but I have a question.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Trustee Chu?
So I had a question from one of my constituents asking, they have drama and they have, I don't know if musical is part of that drama class, but in the sequence of, let's say the first year, if they wanted to take drama and then they wanted to be in the musical, is this kind of leading into that musical for the students? Or I don't know how that sequence works in terms of when you would select those courses, because this is a 1 semester course, right?
It is a year course.
Oh, it is a year course.
It is
Okay.
a year
Okay, I
course.
read
And
that wrong.
so currently Napa and Vintage have courses that are under course that they have in place to help with their productions. And so this would be a course at American Canyon High School. Most recently, they've brought on musicals over the past couple of years. And this would allow the students to participate in a course that teaches them the components as to help with that production. So currently right now, it happens mostly outside of the school day, whereas this would allow them to do that. Our goal is to bring all 3 high schools into alignment around this course, but that's why it's specific to, so any student can participate in this course 9th through 12th grade who has a desire to be a part of the production.
So what are the other courses called at Napa High and Vintage?
They're currently chorus. And so the course itself needs review and revision. It aligns with our current staffing. And so as we look to American Canyon High School, this course aligns with our staffing, and then we'll look to see how we can make adjustments to the courses while still maintaining the productions of each of the 3 comprehensives.
Are they required to participate in the production, or is it just it's aligned with the production and the assumption is that they want to participate, but is it a requirement?
So in choosing to be a part of production, they're a part of this class. There are other classes that they can take where they can take drama that don't require them to be a part of the musical production. They usually have some sort of performance associated with that, but some more introductory courses like Drama 1 or Drama 2 wouldn't have this large production.
And I will say that just chime in to say that you can be in the class and participate in the production behind the scenes. So it doesn't mean that you have to be a performer in it. You can do crew, costume, lightings, choreography, that kind of thing.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, most of our student productions are fully student produced. So you'll see students up in the box, you'll see students behind stage, costuming, all those various aspects. So the textbook you saw earlier touches on those pieces too.
And will this class be offered every year?
At ACHS, yes. That's hard to, that is the intended outcome, is to offer it every single year as students sign up. And yes, we'd like to maintain, there's an interest across performing arts at the high schools to have productions each year.
Right. And I will just say for the record, I would be in support of every comprehensive high school being able to put on a musical every year. I think that having 4 opportunities in 4 years of high school to participate in something like that for those students who are drawn to that kind of experience is really important. And I hope that we can find a way to make that work for our Napa comprehensive high schools.
Thank you. I meet with the performing arts teachers quarterly, so I'll bring that interest there and explore it.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no further questions, Student Board Member Gomez,
Aye.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item I4B, Girls on the Run North Bay.
I'll move to approve, but I have a comment.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Hart. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There's no public comment on this item.
Trustee Chu?
So I just want to highlight one of the things that I think the district had done that kind of led to what we're seeing here. The program manager of Napa Girls on the Run is Elba Marquez, and she was our district DLAC president, right? And she went through the leadership training. And when I ran into her in American Canyon when she was running that program and had a table there, she said that, you know, it was kind of a natural progression for her to go through this process at the district, and then found this great job that really fit what she wanted to do, and really got to really get prepared to be in a more leadership role. So I'm really happy to see that for our parents. You know, sometimes we think about just educating our students, but this is like one of those aha moments, like, wow, this is bigger than, you know, what we had originally anticipated. So I really appreciate the fact that we have that resource for parents.
She's online.
Oh, great.
I too had some questions, actually. My first question is, are boys allowed to participate?
Thank you for asking, President Gracia. The program is designed specifically to meet the needs of girls, and boys are not something they're not allowed, but it's designed for girls.
So if a boy applied, he would.
I mean, I don't know if Director Manning wants to weigh in, but the way that the Girls on the Run program is designed, it is designed for and targeted and developed for the needs of girls. And also there's research that shows that it provides a safe environment for girls to talk about some of the things that they're going through during that very critical time in their development. And by having the presence of a boy, it would make those conversations and discussions very difficult. And it just provides that for girls.
Do we have a similar program for boys who are interested in this type of development?
We do not have a similar program for boys. One of the things that we have looked at is what are some other options that will support the development of boys in sort of this healthy lifestyle and leadership. And there is a national program called Boys Let Us Run. And it has some of the similar requirements that Girls on the Run has, which is the having 2 coaches for every 14 students, and then training for those adults. They have to be able to, we have to be able to do it twice a week and make a commitment, similar cost to Girls on the Run. One of the challenges is that what's great about Girls on the Run is that it's a local organization with a local chapter that has been in existence for a while, and it really does has developed a pretty robust local program, and there is nothing similar with a program targeted to boys, but it is something that we can absolutely explore because there is a need for the same kind of leadership, healthy living activities for boys at that same critical age.
And I like to add, yes, Girls on the Run, it's its own nonprofit, own organization. And it's national. And so I'm glad that we have a program as such at our campuses, because I think, you know, not being here from the beginning of when Girls on the Run started, but from my understanding, it has filled in a gap or a need that has shown through data, through parents, through our students of a space to do that. And so hence the mission of Girls on the Run, having not only again the data and creating that environment for our girls to find that space has been instrumental in their mental health and physical health. Having good coaches and leaders and guide them through that process. So I think that's to me, it's sort of connected as to it fits because there was a need that showed that. And I think that need came out of the student body, came out of the parents. And I'm glad that, programs like this get developed in that sense, right? Because you see that, and especially historically with marginalized groups, right? Women, and we were just talking about not too long ago, that even in political office, still women tend to be placed or judged in a certain way, and I think need to hold space. And I think creating that safe space for our young girls is important to do so. So I think it just helps meet a gap that I know that exists in our current system, in an educational system and society system, just to have that space for our girls. So I can't speak on behalf of the organization, but I've just been in contact a lot with the organization, and in hearing their talk or at their booths and all that. That's the general understanding that I have in regards to having Girls on the Run, and it's been a successful model that has some really great outcomes. And to your point, Trustee Reiser, not just impacting our girls, but even the parents, right? The volunteers get a lot of training through this process, and I think it's can be pretty life-changing. Absolutely.
And I would just add to your eloquent remarks that there's so much data nationally about girls particularly, and a plummeting of their self-esteem around puberty. So I think while I understand the sort of where you're coming from and wanting parity in programming, there's just, tons and tons of data about the difficulties girls face. And this program, as my understanding, is sort of a response to try to bolster those sort of plummeting self-esteem and development of identity. So I think that it's okay to have a program that addresses that does not have a parallel program in existence at the moment.
Well, I would certainly encourage staff to at least investigate the possibility of a similar program for the young males out there who might be interested in a similar type of experience. Girls are not the only ones who suffer from difficulties during the middle school years. So thank you.
So move to approve.
I think we've already.
Did we already vote on it?
Yeah, so we need to move to the voting part. Student Board Member Gomez?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, moving on to item 4C, the 2021-2022 school accountability report cards.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Chu. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you.
I guess I have one comment before we vote, which is just in reviewing these reports, there is, of course, a section that talks about the condition of our campuses. And as I was making note of the state of our campuses in Napa, there are many campuses marked fair and not good in electrical. So to me, that just jumped out at me as, we ran the bond campaign A1 to keep our kids warm, safe, and dry. And because that bond didn't pass, because we were just short of our the 55% threshold, we are now lacking in resources to address those things on our school accountability report cards that say that our facilities are not at their optimal level. So I think that that's unfortunate. And I hope that any community members who are listening will recognize that the next time there's an opportunity to support a school bond so that we will have the resources so that then, you know, in the future, our facilities conditions will all be top rated.
I would like to add a yes to that.
And President Gracia, I'd like to just make a comment before the board votes. As you can tell, like in reviewing the SARCs, you'll see that there are quite a few tables that are incomplete. The CDE is the one who furnishes the information for those tables around teacher misassignment, around the data tables. And so I just received word today that they have submitted the file so that we can import that information into our SARCs. And so once we have all of the completed tables, the SARCs will come back to the board as an information item so that you can review the completed ones. We do have a deadline that is required of us to have them posted by February 1st and approved by the board before February 1st. But the information wasn't released by CDE yet. So that information we now have, we'll be able to provide the updated SARC reports.
And just to clarify, CDE has directed us to approve these without the data and then see the data later, right?
Correct, because of the requirement to have them posted by February 1st. And yes. And yes.
Okay. No further discussion, then Student Board Member Gomez.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, we're now on to K5, which is school planning and construction. K5A, SPC 7.5-23, request to surplus one relocatable classroom at the Carneros property.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion, Student Board Member Gomez.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. K5B, SPC number 7.6-23, request to surplus relocatable classroom at the former Harvest Middle School campus.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
I skipped all the way down here.
Veta and Julie, you need to mute.
Thank you. Student Board Member Gomez.
I'm glad you're enjoying your work in there.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to information. Section L, L1, General Services, L1A, Curriculum and Student Support Committee. All right,
I'm looking forward to the meeting.
you need to turn your mic on.
Looking forward to the meeting.
L1B, Facilities and Technology Committee.
We have one coming up.
L1C, Finance Committee. L1D, Policy Committee.
We met and you received a full array of why we met. About, yes.
Yeah, there's quite a bit there. Okay. On to item L2, Business Services, L2A, Enrollment Report. Continues to be bad news. Yeah.
And declining enrollment is statewide. And actually, it extends to many other states. Contrary to what some of our critics think, it's not unique to Napa.
All right. Moving on To item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent. Okay,
Actually, I would just like to say, because I didn't do it in the moment, but just how grateful and proud I am that our district is doing the QPR training and that commitment to preparing our staff to meet appropriately students who are in crisis. That's amazing progress. And I'm grateful to Jenny Olson and Naya Williamson. I'm sorry, Naya. I don't remember your last name, but our partnership with Mentis is just invaluable for the district. And I just wanted to express my appreciation.
agreed. Okay, moving on to future agenda items. Okay, I have a request. I will repeat my request from earlier. I would like a presentation on what is happening with the district's solar panels and contracts. I also have another request. Once the district writing assessment has been given, I would like to have a board meeting presentation on the results of our very first assessment. Now I will move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
First by myself, second by trustee Chu. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.